I've had this monitor for about 2 years now, and it's been great, but I've always wondered what it would be like to have OLED. So, let's upgrade. The first thing that we should talk about is the difference between an IPS panel and an OLED panel. If you're not familiar, an IPS panel is backlit, while an OLED is individual pixels. So, having those individual pixels allows it to be more color accurate, and blacks are actually black. If you took a black screen from an IPS panel and a black screen from an OLED panel, since those individual pixels are able to shut off individually, those blacks are actually black, whereas an IPS panel is almost like a grayish tone. But on top of that, the panel that I got is a higher resolution, so I'm upgrading from a 1080p monitor to a 1440p monitor. And on top of that, it's a higher refresh rate. I'm moving from 240 Hz to 280 Hz. Now I know that's not a big jump, but it is an upgrade. The one downgrade that I wanted to mention is it is a smaller size, but to be honest, 32 inches is kind of excessive, especially on this desk. One thing I did want to mention when unboxing this thing that stood out to me is how easy that adapter screws in for my mount. I might try to use the included mount at some point because I like how durable it feels and I like that headphone stand on the back of it. But I have this arm attached to my desk, and the box comes with these individual screws that extend from the inside, so it's able to screw in easily. Other than that, it comes with your basic power adapter, HDMI cable, and paperwork. Now, the reason I went with this monitor specifically is because it had a really good deal online that I found, and I was able to get this for $250. As I'm unboxing this, I'm noticing how thin that panel is. Since it's OLED, that's another thing that they're able to do, since it doesn't require all those additional pieces with the backlighting, is they're able to get that panel to be super thin. And as I'm pulling this out of the box, one thing that stands out to me is that how most OLEDs at this price point don't have a matte finish or an anti-glare finish on it. So I'm moving from a matte anti-glare finish on my IPS panel to a glossy one on this. I don't think it'll be a huge deal for me because of where my computer is set up. I have blackout curtains and lights are usually off, so it doesn't really bother me that much, but it is something that I notice right away. And this monitor that I got is a QD OLED, and something that I've learned recently is that QD OLEDs tend to have fringing because of the way that the pixels are laid out, and the best way to describe that is that some small text, especially black text, has sort of a pinkish layer around it. It's kind of hard to explain, but it does catch your eye. It doesn't really bother too much if you're not doing too much productivity and mostly gaming, and it hasn't been a huge issue for me so far. And another thing that I wanted to mention is having a higher resolution display now means that some of those higher end games that I like to play, like recently I've been playing Spider-Man 2, I'm noticing that I now have to lower the quality of my settings just because my graphics card has a harder time handling the higher resolution. And that's something that I didn't totally think about when buying this one. It's not a huge issue. Again, I have better resolution, better refresh rate, and it looks amazing, but it's something that I'm going to have to tweak through every individual game. Now I'm going to get into a little bit of testing of my monitor. First, I open up CapCut. This is what I use to edit all my videos. So I pulled up my first video just to get a feel for how the monitor looks. And if you use CapCut, you know that it automatically runs a diagnostic the first time it recognizes something new. So I opened it up and it said it had no issues, which was expected. But I wanted to get a look at how the refresh rate works, how the colors look. And the first thing that stood out to me when I turned on this monitor is how vibrant these color settings are. That could all be changed, but I might leave it for now because I tend to kind of like the vibrant look. But just keep that in mind if you're looking to get something like this. A lot of these OLED monitors come with these super vibrant colors on them. But I wanted to see what this refresh rate looked like, so hopefully you can see that on your end. I know that this isn't shooting in 240 Hz refresh rate, but hopefully you can see how smooth the feel is generally. Alright, let's get into some gameplay. One game that I've been playing a lot recently is Call of Duty Warzone, and again here those vibrant colors look really good to me, so I'm just going to leave them for now. But I'm going to shut up for a second so you can see how it kind of looks in game and get sort of a feel for yourself. Alright, that's about it for this video. Thanks for sticking around. Hopefully this is somewhat helpful if you're looking to buy an OLED monitor like me. If you'd like to see a full desk setup here in the future, just drop a comment down below and let me know. Or if you have any suggestions, just let me know that too. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.